Hello and welcome our viewers to a new episode of your show around Kuwait, where we shed the light in the most remarkable stories of individuals who made a significant impact in their stories and of course shaped our national's identity. And of course I'm host Abdulatif Lanazi, and today I'm joined with my co-host Hiba. Good evening, Hiba.
Good evening, Abdulatif, and a great welcome to all of the viewers who are watching us today in a new episode of Around Kuwait. And as you know, we always try to present new things that's happening in the country, especially focusing on all of the updates that's actually happening.
Exactly. So for today we have a special guest, Hayal Mansour. Hayal Mansour has won a special award, which is the Siena International Awards for Photography. We are so glad to have Hayal with us. Hayal has made a significant impact in the world of photography, especially here in Kuwait. We are so proud of her, and she had this wonderful contribution to our countries by raising our country's name on Siena. Of course, we are so glad of her.
Yes, indeed. So, of course, we're going to know more about her guest. She's joining us here in the studio, but we're going to head to a report and then we'll be back.
Kuwaiti photographer Hayal Mansour has achieved international acclaim, earning recognition for her exceptional talent by securing a prestigious victory at the renowned Siena International Photo Awards. Her award-winning photograph, captured amidst the captivating landscapes of Aryan Kashmir, catapulted her to the forefront of the global photography scene. The Siena International Photo Awards is celebrated as one of the most prestigious accolades in the world of photography, adding immense significance to this remarkable achievement. This achievement also highlights the potent role of photography as a medium for cultural exchange and storytelling. Through her lens, Hayal Mansour not only captured the beauty of Aryan Kashmir, but also shared its unique narrative with a global audience. Photography possesses the incredible power to bridge cultures and connect people through visual storytelling, and Hayal Mansour's work epitomizes this transformative potential. In Kuwait and beyond, Hayal Mansour's victory is celebrated as a triumph of artistic expression and creative vision. It underscores the depth of talent within the country's artistic community and emphasizes the importance of supporting and recognizing local artists on the international stage. As she continues to shine in the world of photography, Hayal Mansour's success serves as a poignant reminder that art knows no boundaries and can transcend borders to touch hearts and minds worldwide.
Welcome back, our viewers. Of course, we are so glad to have this individual, Hayal Mansour, who made a significant impact in raising our country's name in CN International Photo Award. Before that, in one of the episodes, I was talking about that with my colleague Sarah. I was so happy to find that Kuwaiti woman had made and adapted one of the stories at Aryan Kashmir and made this significant impact with her work on the CN Award. Of course, she won at the International Photo Award, and it was really wonderful.
Yes.
Yes.
So, of course, we're really happy to welcome you here with us, our photographer, Haya. We're really proud of you, and welcome to Around Kuwait.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
We are
having me.
so glad to have you here, Haya. So before we start the interview, you told us about something really good, which is the story behind that, the story behind when you went to Aryan Kashmir. It was something really remarkable when you told us that you had a couple of situations, there were some struggles that you had during your journey, but still it came really worth it. You won one of the awards. It's not the photographer of the year, and hope inshallah at the next time.
Next time.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Can you tell us exactly which is the award exactly, and tell us about the story when what you have on Aryan Kashmir?
You mean the story of the photo or the award?
The story of the photo, but before that, can you tell us the name of the award exactly?
Yeah, I got a recognition that's called Remarkable Artwork under the category of Fascinating Faces and Characters in Siena Photo Awards for 2023.
Wonderful.
And of course, we congratulate you on that.
Thank you so much.
Because again, always participating in such competition is something very remarkable, and it points that you are really a brave first of all. Second of all, you're actually participating in the name of Kuwait, therefore you're making a recognition for the country, people to know more about Kuwait, of course, and participants. But before we head towards this kind of competition participation, we'd like to talk more about you, Haya. Tell us more about when did you actually discover yourself as a photographer? Because this is something very challenging. Trying to capture the moment itself and represent it for an audience is something very, I would say, difficult, challenging, but at the same time, very beautiful. So tell us more about that.
Okay, I started photography like as a in the account, like
Yes.
professionally.
Yes.
I would say 7 years ago, or yeah, 7 or 8
It's
years
not
ago.
that long, but yet you have
No.
this wonderful experience.
It's not that long at all. I've always loved capturing moments. I've always had a camera in my hand since I was a kid, even before the revolution of mobiles and cameras.
Yes.
And I was telling him I forced my dad to buy me a camera when I graduated. So I kept using it in family occasions, in family gatherings with my friends. And then I created the account of my journey album. I just wanted to share my journey, basically. I didn't think it's going to go like it's going to go.
You didn't think that you're going to exceed and reach towards, yes,
Yeah, I didn't
participation.
think I would travel
Yes.
for photography.
But yet
Never.
you did it, and it was
I
remarkable.
did it, and my mom was so worried at the beginning. I still remember my first trip. It was in Cambodia and Vietnam. And my mother was so scared because of everyone who talks about, oh, Cambodia, Vietnam, it's dangerous, and you're going for
Yes, yes.
photography. And my brother went with me in my first trip.
Yes.
It was amazing. The feeling I felt when I was with the kids and when I was with the old people, like you're just so close.
Yes.
You get to know the culture more, you get to play with them, you get to see how they live. And it's different because it's not like when you travel normally, you wouldn't go to these villages or these places.
Yes.
Exactly. So can you tell us about the trip that you had when you found, you told us about the story when you went to Aryan
Yeah.
Kashmir. Can you tell us exactly when you went there about the struggles that you have also?
I went with a group of photographers. It's called Amakin. I usually travel with them every time. That was in 2019. We went to Kashmir. And part of the trip was to go to Aryan village and document the people there. On the way, we realized that the mountain had a mini, it collapsed, but not entirely.
Yes.
So it was a mess, and we couldn't reach there because the
Obstacles
the
that they were
lights and the
there, yeah.
electricity wires and everything was on the on the streets of the mountain, so we weren't able to cross them. So then we had two options: we either go back, or we stay in a motel. We found a motel that has no electricity, nothing. It was isolated completely, and we hike to the village. So we voted, and we decided to stay. We stayed with no service, no electricity, nothing, for 2 nights, and then we hiked for around 6 kilometers, I think, to the village. So we went walking. So I was so proud that this was the shot, because in this trip, especially in Aryan, that's the only shot I took. It was
Yes.
just that's the one.
You contributed with
already-
with one picture.
Yeah, I know. In this trip, when I went
Yeah.
to Aryan, I didn't take many photos. I did take photos in Kashmir.
Yes.
But specifically in Aryan village, this is the only one I took, and this is the only one that really grabbed my attention.
Wow, that's really amazing.
Yeah,
to
the
hear
kid was
about that.
playing in the
Yeah.
garden. She came from school, and I just saw her, and something about her made me feel like I want to capture this face. And they struggle with English, so I spoke with one of the old ladies. I told her I want her to wear the traditional outfit. She said this kid doesn't have an outfit that fits her.
Yes.
So they went to her neighbor house and they got the outfit. It was a little bit loose, and I made her wear it, and they just took the picture.
Yes, you know, this is what challenged the photographer, is finding the inspiration. Like people would say, you would, let's say, plan a trip and you're planning and keeping in your mind, I want to take a specific photo, a specific angle, and so on. And then such incidents happen, therefore you went and end up taking just, let's say, a random picture of a child with the costume itself. So when it comes into inspiration, Haya, like, is it found within the moment itself for a photographer, or do you think that the photographer should plan when it comes into, let's say, capturing certain moments?
I cannot say if the photographer should or not, because there are a lot of tastes
Yes.
with every single person. But for me, I really hate it when I have to set a photo, and like, I can't do that. I travel lightly with just a camera.
Yes.
This picture, I use the reflection, that's all. I don't use lighting, I don't try to... I always prefer to take shots spontaneously.
Yes.
When they grab my attention.
And especially using nature, you know, the lights, the edits
I
and
just used
everything,
sunlight. Actually, the photo was in a very dark place. It was a cave, but I just reflected the sun.
Yes.
And she got the background of the cave. That's it. I didn't put a background. I didn't do anything.
You did only the reflection of the sun because
the
there was no electricity.
It
at
was
the place.
no. It was during the daytime, so there was sun. But I mean, I didn't use flashes or anything. I just went in the cave, which was dark, completely dark, but there was sun, so I reflected the sun. That was the lighting I used.
I think that we've seen the photo before we start the interview. It was really remarkable photo, and congratulations on that. But you also, I noticed that you're choosing also on your lenses to capture the faces and capture the characters.
Yeah.
Why did you choose this type of photography?
I love it, and I love street photography, to be honest, because those kind of like this line, the portrait, and it gives you a lot of like, I feel emotional when I take the photo. I like to capture faces, expressions of people.
Yes. And it's really difficult, you know, because it's not really easy to capture a moment of a person if he's sad or happy or angry, because you always need the right angle in order for you to show the reflection of a person. And as they always say, Abdul Latif, that a photo captures the moment, feelings, and it's more of an expressive way for people to show, even when it comes into their emotion, because you could always see it within a certain smile, a certain look in the eye, you know.
I would say I capture souls.
Yes.
I would say, I'd rather say that.
Yes.
So yeah.
So definitely, it's actually really.
Some people say
It was remarkable.
my photos are a bit, like, they say it's beautiful, but it's sad.
Yeah.
Like, how can you be there with them? And some people, like, I have few shots with kids crying, but it wasn't intentional. I didn't mean to, just because she's crying, I want to take a picture. Sometimes just the moment itself, like, you get an honest feeling. So sometimes a laughing kid, sometimes a crying kid.
And you want to capture that feeling that you want to transfer to the world.
Yes.
Of course. But one of the photos that we have seen on the social media, I wish that we have it so we can see it. That photo's of an elder with a white hair, and the picture was like being drawn with charcoal. So this photo.
It was a man or a woman?
Yeah, a man.
The one with the beard?
Yes.
And piercings?
Yes,
I think this is the one?
Yes. This photo was really remarkable. Can you tell us the story behind that? Because it's a little bit mysterious, and I want to know
I want to know exactly if I'm sure about the photo you mean. Because if you see my account,
yes.
So many elder people.
So many elder people. It was with the beard and with the
like a long beard?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that was
with
in India as well. Yeah, it was in Jaipur. It was in Jaipur, and the man was he was just smiling and happy, out of the blue. There was nothing surrounded, no people, nothing. We were just having a walk, trying to reach another place, and I saw him sitting on the side, just doing nothing. So I went and spoke to him. I had a chat with him actually first, and then I decided to take a shot.
Yes. So talking about countries that you actually visited, talking about, you know, different cultures, different places, people, circumstances, is there a certain country or a place that, let's say, captures your moment until now?
India. Oh, India. I would go every month, forever.
Why exactly?
It's rich. It's rich with people, emotions, street
culture,
everything. Street photography, beautiful, portrait, events. I don't know. It's different, and it has, every city has a completely different vibe.
Yes.
Like if you go to Kashmir, you would blend. Like
Yeah.
in Kashmir, I go to the homes of people, and they're so generous. I was actually pretty shocked when I went to Kashmir the first time. They just let you in the home and they speak to you. They're very down to earth. They're not scared of the camera.
Yeah.
This is for me is a plus because a lot of people are shy, and I actually don't like to force it.
Yes.
I really
So,
don't.
Can you
So-
tell us exactly how does photography became a universal language among people, among photographers, and also the people who observes at these photos, all of them. It doesn't matter if I'm speaking with a different language, we cannot speak to each other, but all of us, we understand the same language behind and the same emotions behind that picture. Can you tell us exactly about that, especially with your understanding as a professional photographer?
Maybe it's because, as I said, you're capturing a soul, so you would enjoy it. You would just see it and feel it, and everyone feels differently. So you might see a picture, and it would make you smile. Someone else would see the same picture and feel sad. Depends on how you see it. So maybe it's because of it's artistic as well. So everyone
Exactly.
would look at it differently. So maybe that's the reason why photography really moves you. You know, because you don't have to speak, you don't have to understand any other language. I've went to a lot of places where nobody understands anything. I can't understand them, they can't understand me. So I just try to smile, try to take a picture and show them. I always show them the picture
Yes.
Wonderful.
when I'm done, yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So, of course, one of the challenges that face you again is dealing with family, especially when you're talking about your mother, because mothers always are scared and terrified, especially if they have their daughters traveling abroad for a certain, let's say, case and matter. So, when it comes into traveling, exploring the world, have you tried, let's say, maybe relating your mom towards where you actually, let's say, travels and go around? Maybe, let's say, try to grab her with you in a certain trip in order for her to see and
Yes.
capture and seize that moment itself.
She actually told me. She was very scared at the beginning, but then she was very excited, and she kept pushing me. To be honest, every time she was the only one, I would say, that was checking always my Instagram on daily basis, and she always tells me, "This is a beautiful photo. I love your work." And
I
so
love
on.
this type of support.
And she stopped being scared because later on I started having my own friends. So we bonded. We started traveling together.
Yes.
So the scary part stopped, and then she started being very supportive. Actually, she wanted to come with me to India so many times, but you
You
know,
have
because
to
it's a
take her.
mountain, it's a very long trip.
You have to take her. I mean, India is
I
so
wish.
beautiful. Like, I really traveled there for only 3 days just to eat the traditional biryani that they actually present.
It's
like,
really
it is
remarkable.
Yeah,
really...
but you're talking about maybe Delhi
No,
or
take her to Bangalore. She's gonna have fun in Bangalore. Yes.
because
I've
the
never
places we
been
go
there.
to is
Yes,
really,
yeah.
really
Indeed.
like far.
Yes.
And I always have car sick, always. Every time I tell my friends, I'm not gonna go to Kashmir again. Next time you either find me a helicopter or I'm not gonna go.
Yes.
And then I keep going again. It's amazing. It's a very long road. It's like 11 hours.
Yes.
Mountain, one way. You can imagine how hard it is
Yes.
to reach there. But once you go there, you kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
So have you ever tried to take these types of photo here in Kuwait at the public streets or at the public places? Try to capture the essence at the same as you are doing there at any other countries?
Yes.
Or it's about the vibes that maybe there with their culture, they are more into their culture. There's maybe the reasons that you wanted to take their essence over there.
No, I have a lot of photos, mainly black and white in Kuwait. I love black and white as well. It's one of my favorites. In Barkia mainly.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
One
I
of
have
the
a
most
lot of
wonderful
pictures
places.
in Barkia, but you reach a point where you feel like I cannot say they're very similar because if you're creative, you can always get different shots.
Something
But
new,
for
of
me,
course.
I felt like it's being repetitive because it's just one place.
Yes.
Similar lighting, similar corridors, you know. So at some point, you need to go out. And this kind of photography, it's hard to find in Kuwait. I wish, and mainly I love to take pictures of elder people. Not everyone in Kuwait allows it.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are
this is
some
one of the
traditional
things.
culture, yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the things that let's say we face it in the GCC countries, but again, it's a way for you to explore and enjoy the world and see it from a different aspect and perspective, and even present it for us. I mean, we wouldn't know about the, let's say, the people over there if it wouldn't been captured by you, especially when we're talking about the little girl. So taking a picture for a person as a portrait is something, and then taking, let's say, street pictures, landscapes is also something else.
Definitely.
So if you want to compare between them, for me, I would always say a portrait is really, really difficult than taking a landscape picture. So tell us more about that. Like, why did you, let's say, tend to go towards that path and not choosing the easy path?
You know what? Not really. You know why? Because in street photography, I think in street photography, it's really hard to find to capture the right picture.
Yes.
A lot of elements can ruin the moment for you. You have to stay for hours to wait for the right moment, the right shot, the right shade, the right person passing by. Especially if you want to create a story.
Yes.
You don't want to just take a random photo.
Yes.
With portrait, I think personally, I've had it easier
Yes.
than street photography. But even with portrait, not anyone would grab my attention to just take a portrait. Like I have a specific, it's something that I feel. Like like I told you, I was just walking around, all my friends were taking pictures and I was just carrying my camera silently.
Trying to find the inspiration.
Nothing, I was just walking. And when I saw this girl, I was like,
You found it.
I need to take a picture of this girl.
Wonderful. So can you tell us exactly how do you think that Haya artistic eye sets her apart as a photographer?
You mean how different does it make me? That's what you mean? Well, I didn't get the question.
What sets you apart, your artistic eye? How do you capture the essence? Of course, everyone has their own unique eye that can capture something that differs from any other photographer. That what makes you special from anyone else. Can you tell us more exactly about that?
I realized something. I always try to capture the thing that people are not looking at. That's me in everything in life. I noticed that, and it went really well with me with photography.
Yes.
I realized that whenever people are not looking at any direction, I'm the one looking there.
Yes.
And I try to find something that grabs my attention to make it beautiful.
That's really
So-
wonderful. Of course, Haya, we have more questions, but we have the short break or report. So we will be back after this report, our viewers.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Of course, we'd like to welcome again with us our guest photographer, Haya Al-Mansour. So when we're talking about you participating in the event itself for the competition, I'm very sure that you face so many competitors at the field itself. So maybe you'd like to tell us more about who did you compete with and how was it so far?
Yeah, definitely, because thousands of people applies to Siena Photo Awards. I wouldn't know exactly who I was competing against, but I mean, it is a very well-known, unique photo award worldwide. So every photographer would really wish to participate and win, whether
Yes.
it's a recognition or a first place or photographer of the year.
Yes.
I
So
was
being
very
part
thrilled.
of it is very important. So when it
Yeah.
comes into applying, I know Abdul Latif, we're really, let's say, eager to know, like, how can a person apply for such a competition itself? Like, there are some requirements when it comes into that?
Yeah, mainly you just follow normal requirements. You have a minimum and maximum number of photos that you can participate in. You should have your raw picture with you, of course.
Yes.
And you would just apply. You create an account and you apply. If the photo is really good, it goes through stages and levels. So you either continue to level 1, level 2, level 3, and you get nominated. And that's what happened with the Siena Award. It was my first time participating.
Yes.
And every time I see because if you're out, it gets gray, faded. If you
Okay.
go into the website, it's gray color. And every time I go in it, I find it black and it says nominated.
From a stage to another stage.
Yeah, and you get an email
Yes.
with every stage you cross. But in between, because like for example, it takes a month from the first email to the second email. So in this time, I keep checking to see if it's out of the competition or still in the competition.
And every time it's been nominated.
Every time it's black and it's
Yeah.
nominated. And
And you're waiting for 1 month. I'm very sure
not
that
1
you're-
month, 3 actually,
Three
around 3
like
months.
each
really
stage you
exhausting.
start waiting from a month to a month for
Around.
it to actually so
Yes.
it is very, let's say, having that kind of feeling of intensity, trying to check every time your email, like is it when
Yes.
did it go to the junk email, is it in the right email, you know?
Yes.
So can you describe for us how did you felt when you got the recognition?
I screamed.
Yeah.
Literally, it was Ramadan. I remember last April.
Yes.
I yelled and screamed and everything, and I went running downstairs to my brothers and mother, and I'm like, it's nominated and it's winning, and I won something, but I didn't know what because they usually don't tell you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you just know that you are winning something. That was the last stage, and then they ask you for documents, passport, and the raw picture, of course. And then later on, you receive an email.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
So did you ever thought or did you ever expected that you're going to win a recognition and this remarkable and huge accolades such as the Siena International Photo Award?
I didn't know what I was winning. I was just hoping to get anything with Siena, whether it's first place, second place, third place, remarkable artwork, photographer of the year. It was impossible. I know that. It was my first
It
time.
would never be impossible on you, especially.
Yeah, I know,
you
but I
didn't- you
mean-
didn't expect that you're going to win with the photos that you had, but
Yeah.
you won, and you won with a remarkable recognition, which is
Remarkable artwork.
remarkable artwork,
Yeah.
faces and characters. right?
Fascinating faces and characters.
Fascinating face
Yes.
and characters. I mean,
The title itself,
it's wonderful.
yes.
Yeah.
I feel happy every time I read it. I
Yeah.
smile.
So do you still think that it is impossible to win the photographer of the year?
Now, no.
Yeah, definitely.
See, so it gives you more power, you know,
Yes.
to participate again and to know that you're actually qualified for such matter and such, of course, competition itself. But when it comes into, let's say, talking to photographers, I'm very sure that now we're being, let's say, watched by many photographers here in Kuwait who would consider, let's say, participating in such competitions, trying to, let's say, being recognized. So participating in Siena Award itself, like, tell us more about how important it is for a photographer to actually participate, because this is something maybe could be new for the ones who are really, let's say, into photography.
To be honest, at the beginning, I have to say this, my friends kept pushing me to participate.
Yes.
And I've always wanted to get a prize in one of the biggest photo awards.
Yes.
But when I did it, I didn't know what I was expecting.
Yes.
And I didn't know that was the feeling I'm going to feel. It's really important. I really recommend every photographer to try this path because it gives you become more comfortable. You go outside, you see the photography is a huge world.
Yes.
And for you to compete and to be known, it's not easy.
Definitely.
It got me exposure. I've met a lot of photographers there. I was all over the news. A lot of people followed me back. I had a lot of support.
Yes, you had a very positive feedback
It's
behind
extremely positive, to be honest. Yes, I was very happy, and I would definitely do it again.
We are so happy about that, and also your contribution to rise our country's name. It is really wonderful, because you actually set a point on the world that Kuwait has photographers. They are known with their remarkable work, and we've also known many photographers that have been participating in Siena 5 years ago and more, and also maybe after that. But can you tell us, what does Hayal Mansour victory simplifies for the Kuwaiti artistic community?
Like, how do you feel that you've now been awarded?
Yeah.
Like, this is something
Yes.
very important, I'm very sure. But to you, sending a message for all of the photographers who are watching us, like, what would you say to them?
I would say try. don't think that your photos are not worth it. Every picture you take tells a story, definitely. And every photo you like, if you see that the photo is beautiful and you did it with honesty, and you enjoyed it, just share it. Nobody will lose anything with sharing a photo. If you love it, just share it.
I mean, if you had to criticize about that, also it's a lesson. It's maybe a mistake that you can take advantage of, and you can learn more information about that.
Yeah, we can say we always take it in a positive way in order
Exactly.
for you to be updated and to develop when it comes into that. So talking about photography and photographers, especially if we're talking here in Kuwait, you know that the market is really huge. We have lots of people who use their camera, whether it's a phone or it's a professional camera. You've been to Italy, so you've seen people who are participating, you've seen everyone's and surrounding, and also the community of photographers. So when we're talking about that, do you feel that here in Kuwait, as a society for photographers, that they are being recognized and people do value the importance of photography and this kind of art, or do you feel that we still need to have more awareness in that?
No, I think they're doing very well. Yeah, and a lot of Kuwaiti photographers have won big awards.
Yes.
And I'm so proud of all of them, to be honest.
Yes, and do you feel that they're supporting each other? Because, you know, sometimes when you're new in the market, some photographers would like to have their own, let's say, ways, not trying to tell everything.
I've heard that a lot, to be honest, but I've never experienced it. I don't know if I'm lucky or is it like the true reality, but for me, I've had a lot of support from my photographer friends in Kuwait. I didn't face any disappointments or people not challenging me. No, I've had a good experience with them.
So you've seen the supportive side, you've seen them answering your questions and always being there. Well, that's really
wonderful.
Great and positive.
It was a very, for me, from what I experienced, it's a very healthy environment. Especially this kind of, I don't know about the, like the studio photography or the one like for marketing and those kind of this line. I'm talking about the street photography, the portrait, this kind of photography. I think it's great.
The type of photography that everyone likes. I like the street photography. I like the portrait photography. It's really remarkable. It always sends you the wonderful and remarkable message about the world. I mean, we've seen places on the social media, these type of places that we've never known that it becomes in reality. And we've seen it from photographers. But can you tell us exactly, there is one question we would love to know about. As everyone knows, the field of photography, it's like a sea. And it's always, every month and every week, it keeps updating with the new equipment, with the new devices and lenses. So how do you stay up to date with that field?
Surprisingly, I don't. I don't, because I believe that if you have a good camera, and you have the eye for it, that's it.
What's more
important? That's why you see me traveling very light. Not all of my friends does that. Even within my group, I've seen a lot of photographers from my friends. They're carrying equipment and they're up to date and they have flashes. For me, I cannot do this. First of all, I think it restricts me because every time you want to switch, and you want to like wait for the, okay, I want the lighting now, I want to change the lens. For me, for my type of photography, I think it pulls me back. And a lot of times, I've missed a moment because of that. So for me, I'd like to keep it simple. I love my camera. I'm fine with it.
Try to keep it with you.
I have 2 lenses, and usually I stick with one. I never use the other one. I go very light, I travel easily, and I just do it this way. Yeah, I don't buy a lot of equipment, and of course you have to have a good camera. That's for sure. But I mean, I'm not the type of photographer that stays up to date and buy always new stuff and new equipment.
Keeps up with the new technology about that.
I don't need it. I just like to take a moment where the lighting is absolutely great, and I think that creates a beautiful image.
Wonderful. So, as we know now from the stories that you told us when you went to Aryan Kashmir and you went hiking for almost 6 kilometers, which almost going to be some challenge and really great adventure that you will always remember. Have you ever tried to use one of the cameras that has this 360 visions like the GoPro while you're doing the hiking? Because these types of cameras right now, it becomes more trendy, and a lot of people keeps loving to see more videos about that.
Because to be honest, first of all, I'm not a videographer. And the GoPro
It's
mainly,
for videos.
yes, it's better for videos, not for capturing
You
moments.
don't like video?
No, imagine, I don't know how to do a proper video. Like, I'm not a videographer. I use the GoPro underwater when I'm diving. But even that, I stopped it. Yani. I try to enjoy the moment.
Yes, yes.
So no, I don't actually use GoPro. And I don't use my phone.
So you have your own camera, your own
Just
lenses?
the camera.
And your own
And they don't
eyes,
mix.
so you take
Like,
it.
this is a mistake I think I'm doing. When I travel for just for fun, I usually don't take my camera with me. Because I need a certain mood to take it. Like, I have to be mentally ready that this trip is for photography. Maybe this is a mistake. I've been thinking about that. Like, I've been thinking like I need to have my camera with me to capture, because even one of the photos that won the Siena Award, this was amazing. It won one of the categories. The guy took it in Corona when he was driving his car, and he parked in a no parking slot just to capture a moment, and he won. And that made me think, why am I so rigid and stiff about that? I have to have my camera with me all the times. So that's something you learn also when you participate in those
Such
big
events,
ceremonies. Yeah, it gives you a perspective, you know?
Yeah. And I think the reason why you're not, let's say, trying to mix all of it all together is because this is kind of something that you like. And sometimes if we always associate what we like in our life, we end up, let's say, for a certain moment, either stop doing it in a proper way, or we feel like it's more of a heavy duty on us. So I think that's what you're facing, is trying to, let's say, separate what you actually love and enjoy what you actually do, in order for it not to mix all together when it comes into that.
I agree, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
so
agree.
one of the most important thing that let's say, talking about females, especially if their mothers, like to capture the moment, they capture the moment of their children. Now, I see myself, I love to capture the moment when they cry.
Why?
Because it's the moment that no one sees, and it's just from my own point of view, like no one could ever see their beloved child being, let's say, in a crying way, especially if they're fathers. Like, they would always see them smiling, and even when they cry, they would never see it from a mother perspective.
Yeah.
So capturing that scene, capturing that moment, the way they cry, the way they look, the way they express, is so beautiful. So people, when they tell me your child is so adorable, and I'm like, look at their,
And it stays with you.
this is their real face, you know, the crying face, the one that you don't really see.
She's telling the truth.
So tell me about you, Abdulatif. Like,
memory.
do you do that? Like, do you take your
No,
niece and
he doesn't.
nephews that kind of picture? Yeah.
If I do that, their mother was gonna kill me. if I take photos about them while they are crying,
Well, I
to
just
take
posted a
perspective.
photo of, I would say my niece, but not really my niece,
Yes.
screaming. And
Yeah.
I posted it in social media on
I mean,
my
this
story.
is the number one great pictures. I mean, the one they scream, the one they cry. Now, talking about family and members, since you use the camera, you are the photographer in the family. So tell us about it. Like, is it challenging? Like, do they ask you, let's say, for a certain, especially if they're gathering all together, okay, we need a proper photo. So immediately, I'm very sure that your name pops. Like,
Yes.
Haya has a camera. Where is your camera? So tell us about that.
First of all, I'm never in the picture, which is annoying. Because when you look back at the memories, you realize that most of the pictures, you're not in it.
Yeah.
Because you are the photographer.
Because I'm the photographer.
Okay.
And most of the times, they don't really love it when I do it. They get pissed off. Like, you're always with the camera, you're always taking pictures.
Yes.
And I tend to take videos also, even though I don't do it with professionally. I just do it with my phone randomly.
Yes.
And years later, I keep sending them in the groups of my family and my cousins, and everyone is like, wow, thank God you did. And they keep laughing. And then I'm like, you were annoyed when I was taking the picture, and now you
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. So it's actually a cures. Yeah.
So getting back to the field of photography, ask one more professional question. In what ways does photography contribute to the cultural understanding and appreciation?
I think it's really important to take pictures culture related, because, you know, one day in years, the new generation wouldn't know what it was like. Like when I go to, like for example, in Barkia was
Capturing
burnt.
the memories, man.
Can you? No one would thought that it would be burnt down or
Yes.
something.
Yes.
I was glad that I took a lot of pictures there before this happened. Now I have a good memory of it.
Yes.
And especially that in Kuwait we don't have a lot of yeah, all the authentic things have been either ruined
Yes.
or destroyed, or you know,
Yes.
and the new generation doesn't know a lot about it.
Yes.
So I always love to have something to remind me and the new generation about how was it before.
Remarkable. So also, when you travel, do you take some photos inside the schools, right?
I love it. Don't
Can you
ask
tell
me
us,
why.
how did you get that idea? And how did you get the inspiration about that? Also, did you require any types of approval, like governmental approval up there to
Yes.
take?
Yeah, mainly yes, we do. We have a guide usually.
Yes.
That's why I don't like to mix between my trips, because the places we go to as photographers, you usually cannot go to. Like you cannot just travel and randomly go into a person's life or into a person's home, I mean, and get into their lives or go to a school or a classroom. So yes, we usually get permission. And the first time I went to a school, it was in Kashmir as well, but it wasn't in Arian, it was in Kargil. The first thing that grabbed my attention was the lighting, honestly speaking. Not anything about like the kids or the school, but the lighting was incredible. And then I realized that the kids are, because they're kids, so they are playful and naughty and they laugh and they like to play with the camera. So it's like when they see a camera and the photographer, they try their best to be spontaneous.
Yes.
Even though they're faking it sometimes, but it's funny. So yeah, that's how I started loving
It's got
these.
to be beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yes, and especially when you see them, I mean, they're so innocent, and every child, especially if they're in school, and then they see something that grabs their attention immediately out of the subject, like they will run
Yes.
towards it, like
Yes.
anything just to take us away from school mood and everything. So in the end, it's something positive for you and positive for them, because it's very good and healthy for a person to actually get out of the ordinary, to find, let's say, a certain situation for him and for all of them to actually, let's say, renew what they're doing in life. So this is kind of an opportunity for you and for them at
It's
the same
beautiful.
time.
Also, the last time I went there,
Yes.
one of my friends had the instant printing printer, the
Yes,
printer,
yes.
and we took selfies with the kids and we printed them, and we gave it to them. They put it in the classroom, and we write like my friends are, some of them from UAE, some of them are like Saudi Arabia and Bahrain.
Yes.
So every one of us wrote like a small memory, like from Kuwait, from Bahrain, and we gave it to them. They were so happy, and it was hung in the classroom.
Yes.
And we went again the next year, and surprisingly, I've seen people that I've already took pictures of like 2 or 3 years back.
Yes.
So it gets familiar when you keep going to the same village, but with a different vibe, different
Timing,
perspective.
let's say.
Wonderful. So can you tell us exactly how does photography transcend on boundaries and also increase the connection among people on the worldwide? Because as everyone knows, when it comes to photography, it's like when we talk about as the beginning of the social media, it was almost all of it as pictures. So it's actually increased and the connection between the cultures and people. How do you think about that as photographer? How does it increase the connection among the cultures?
I think it's amazing because you feel like you're close to the other culture, regardless of the culture. You feel you're close, you feel you get it, you understand it more without having to speak the same language, without having to go there. Some people cannot afford traveling, some people are not able to travel. And I feel like it's our responsibility to show them the beautiful side of the other world, you know?
Yeah.
It's wonderful responsibility because
Yes.
when you see right now at these days, there are so much of awareness about the different cultures. I mean, when you see the French cheese and when you just the picture and when you show it to anyone, they will immediately know it without going to France, without knowing about it. Why? Because they saw it in photos, they saw it on the social media. Especially when you saw some pictures about other cultures. It's really wonderful.
And even when some people are using it with, like in words or to show the miserable life of other places,
Indeed.
it makes you feel you want to contribute. It makes you feel them.
Yes.
You know, and even some like when I told you my mom had a lot of concerns when I wanted to go to Cambodia.
Yes.
And she thought it's a dangerous place and the people are not nice and, you know, all of this
Yeah.
stuff. I was
Because of the
I was
stereotype that
shocked.
she
They
heard.
were
Yeah.
the nicest people I've ever seen.
Yes.
It was amazing. It was very peaceful. I didn't feel scared at all. So even sometimes you hear rumors about countries. That's not true.
Yes.
Sometimes it's ruined. So if you go and try to capture the opposite, I think it's beautiful.
Yes, I totally agree with you on that. Well, Haya, unfortunately, this is the time we have with you here. It was really a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much for being part of our show. And also, I'd like to thank you for participating in such great ceremony award, representing yourself as an amazing photographer. And of course, I'm very sure that a lot of people who are watching us today are really proud of you. So thank you very much.
Thank you
being
so
with us.
much. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
We are so glad to have you, and thank you. Inshallah, at the next time you will have the Siena Photographer of the Year.
Inshallah.
As right now you got recognized here and also on the world. And for you, our dear viewers, we hope that you enjoyed the stories about Haya Al Mansour. And of course, if there are more and more stories that we're going to discuss about tomorrow and after that. So for now, we will see you and goodbye.